Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, all my excellencies. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a beat. Now in this class, in this video, we're going to be looking at formulas and functions. So we're going to be looking at some simple examples to help drive the point home that we know how to use formulas and also how to work with a few functions. We're going to see a few examples. We're going to look at how we can actually work with functions in Excel. So let's get right into it. Now, in Excel, we're working with formulas. Normally, formulas are actually custom calculations we can create. So, formulas always start with an equal sign. Okay, always an equal sign, and then we can use numbers, cell references, and math operators. Let's assume I want to add these values here now. Okay, I will need to use the addition symbol. Okay, or I want to subtract, I want to multiply or divide, and some other things we can actually do. Okay, so we're going to see this simple example first, and then we're going to see another example how we can actually copy or create formulas into several cells at once. Okay, then we're going to see functions. Let's get right into it. Like we said, formulas always start with an equal sign. Let's assume I want to add these values here now, so I'll type my equal to equal sign. Okay, now I can either type the cell reference directly or I click on it here. Okay, so let's just click on it and then my addition sign and then this and enter. Okay, so 10 plus 5 gives us 15. Next up, let's assume I want to subtract 15 from 4. Okay, so equal sign said. Formulas always start with an equal sign. I can either type in the cell reference directly or I just click on it. Okay, and I type in the operator. Okay, and click on the next cell contributing to the formula. Okay, next up, let's assume I want to multiply 100 by this value here, 40. Okay, so equal sign, like we said. Okay, and I click on the first cell contributing to the formula. I type in my operator. Okay, now multiplication, normally use asterisk sign for multiplication while working on the computer. Okay, so that, and I click on the next cell contributing to the formula and enter. Okay, so if I want to carry out division, for example, okay, so equal sign set, click on the first cell contributing to the formula, put my slash. Okay, that's what we use for division. Okay, and then I click on the next cell contributing to the formula and press enter. Okay, so that is one way. That's how we can actually work with formulas. It always starts with an equal sign. Then we can actually use numbers, cell references, in addition with math operators. Now, this is one simple way to create formulas. Okay, now we can actually also decide to create a formula and copy that formula in multiple cells in one operation. Let's see how we can actually get that done. So to create formulas that need to be copied into multiple cells in one operation, follow the steps. Let's assume I have this data set, okay, containing student scores, and then let's say I want to sum up all the scores for all the students. Okay, I want to find out the totals, okay, for all their scores, okay, in different subjects. So follow these steps. Okay, so what we do, first of all, come here, I select all the cells which I want the formulas to be copied. Okay, so select all the cells just beneath here. Okay, so as we do that, cells I want the formulas to be copied, so I'll select them. First of all, and I type in my equal sign. Okay, so what we want to do right now is I want to just sum up for Sammy, and then I will sum up for Sammy, do the trick, and then it actually sums up for everybody else. So let's do that first of all. So equal sign, click on the first cell contributing to the formula. Okay, I put my operator. Click on the next cell contributing to the formula, my operator. Okay, go to the next cell, then operator. Okay, like that, and we get to the last one. Now when I get to the last cell contributing to the formula, this time around, what I do, I press Control Enter, not Enter now. Okay, so pressing Control Enter, that actually copies that. Okay, so like that, now we see, know that the first step was to select the cells prior to starting to type the formula. Okay, so first step, prior to starting to type the formula, selected cells. Okay, now when you hit Control Enter, the formula is automatically copied to all cells that were selected. That's how we can actually get it done. Now, this now leads us to functions. Now, what we did is fine if that's what we want, but functions are there to actually help us to actually get our work done rather easily. Okay, now what's the function? Function is actually a sophisticated calculation hidden behind the name. So actually, in essence, function is actually just a formula, okay, that the program built in to Excel. Okay, now every function is actually a formula, but not every formula uses a function. So that's what you should take note of. So let's look at what we want to do now. Now, actually, Excel includes just, there are over 450 functions in Excel. Okay, and some ranging from very simple ones to very complex. Okay, so we're going to see an example. Let's start with the first one, sum function. So I can as well decide to use my sum function to actually sum up all these ranges instead of using my formulas. Okay, now let's just delete this, delete everything. Okay, now let's assume I just want to find out the sum of all the values for the subjects for Sammy. Okay, come click this cell here, then from summing up just for one cell, okay, come to my sum function. Okay, I come to the sum. Okay, I have auto sum here. Okay, like we said, we can use auto sum or sum function. Okay, so we can do that by coming to the home tab, because the sum function is one of the most used functions in Excel. We have it actually here right on the home tab. Okay, so in the home tab and then the editing group, you can see sum function. Okay, so I can actually get it done like that, or I can as well type alt equal to. Okay, so alt equal to actually brings up the sum function also. So alt equal to. Okay, so you can see now Excel is pretty smart to detect the range. Okay, so that it has automatically detected the range for me to sum up. Okay, so I can just do that. Click enter, press enter. That sums up the range for me. Okay, now if I want to actually copy it to others, I can just come to my fill handle and copy the formula to the other cells. Okay, that's one way. Another thing I can actually do, okay, let's delete this, assuming I want to use the sum function directly. So if I'm summing up just for a single cell, like I said earlier on, I need to double click. Okay, click one, click twice. Okay, that's one way we can actually get that done. Or you can as well come here, select all cells. Okay, and when I select multiple cells, I just need to click sum function once, and it gets that done for us rather easily. Okay, like so. Now, the other ways we can actually get to work with our functions. Okay, I can as well come here, that cell, then type equal to, type in my sum. Okay, it brings up the sum function for me. Okay, then we can now sum up everything. Okay, so and now say like so. sum these up, okay, and hit enter. So that's how we can get that done. Another thing we can do to work with functions, if I come to my formula bar, okay, formula bar, right on the formula bar, I have the insert function dialog box right here, okay. So I can as well click on the insert function dialog box. It now brings up the insert function dialog box for me, okay. Now let's assume I'm not sure of function, but I have an idea what that function does. And now come here, it says type a brief description of what you want to do, and click go. Okay, so and just say add numbers, add numbers. Just type brief description and click go. Okay. So you can see now it brings up functions that are similar to that carry out addition. Okay, you can see EXCEL, I am some, then my sum function is here, so I can select it and go ahead and use it. Or I can as well come to categories, select from categories, okay. I'll come in here, all the categories, like we said, there are over 450 functions in Excel, so they're all broken down into categories, okay. Financial category, date, time, math, tree, statistical, you know, lookup, reference, database, text, logical, information, okay, and a host of others, okay. Go down to the others, information, engineering, cube, compatibility, web. So all those functions have been actually broken down into categories. So that's another thing. Now the beauty of Excel is it actually gives us a tip. Okay, so for example, now my dsum gives me a description of what that function actually does. Like here now I can see it says adds the sum, adds the numbers in the field column of records in the database that match the condition specified. I click on sum, gives me a brief description of what that function does. It says adds all the numbers in the range of cells. So if that's what I want to use, you know, make use of it. Now another we can actually work with functions. I come to my formula bar, formulas tab, sorry, my formulas tab, and then the functions library group, okay, functions library group, I can actually click on insert, brings up that dialog box, and I can just do what I did previously, or if I know the category where it falls into, just come here, okay, and then from the category, either financial, logical, text, okay, from all the categories, if I know the category it belongs to, the function I'm looking for, just go to that category and pick it up from there, okay. Now functions we actually use regularly, okay, find them in the recently used, okay, those that are used regularly or those that have been recently used, fill them here. So let's say you have your own workflow, so you can actually access them here. Those functions you actually use regularly, you can actually access them here, okay. So let's say now I want to work with the sum function. So instead of using my formulas, I can as well work with my sum function to sum up all the values here. So like we said earlier on, auto sum. So I can as well just select everything here, okay, go to my home tab, and then click auto sum, okay, like so. Or I said, you can come here, hit my equal to, and type function right within my cell, and then open the bracket, okay. Now ask me to specify the arguments, okay. So I can now come here and specify the arguments, and then I close the bracket, and like so. Okay. So several ways we can actually make functions. So I can now come to my fill handle and copy that formula across the cells, okay. That's one function. Now another function we can actually work with, let's just go through just a few to see how we can actually work with functions in Excel, okay. And also have max. Now let's see what max does. So type in equal to max. Okay, now we can see a brief description of what that max function does. It says returns the largest value in a set of values. Okay, so let's assume I want now find out the highest value from this set of values here. Okay, type max on the parentheses, then I select those values. Okay, close it up, and then so highest value is 360. Is 360. I think that's Josh. Okay, we also have the mean function. Okay, so let's see. Type equal to equal sign, then mean. Okay, open the parentheses, then so what does mean do? Okay, so it returns the smallest number in a set of values. So I want to find out the smallest value. Okay, who's called lowest here. Okay, for example, I use my main function to actually calculate to actually find out who's called lowest. Yeah. Okay, so mean, select the range, specify the argument, and I can close it or not. Whether I decide to put parentheses or not, still okay. Then so the lowest score there was 304. That was Lucy. Now let's look at another function. We want to look at count. And let's see what count does. Count. Okay. Now this counts the number of cells in the range that contains numbers. So let's say for example I want to find out if there was one student that didn't attempt one of the subjects. Okay. So I can actually use the count function to find out. Okay. So let's say I have all the students here. And let's find out if any of the students did attempt one of the subjects. Okay. You just come here. Okay. Open the parentheses on the bracket. See. Then I specify my arguments. Okay. And then close it and enter. Okay. So 7. Okay. So all 7 students actually attempted physics and their scores are recorded. Okay. I will also come to count A. Okay, now what does count A does? Count A function is displays the number of non-blank cells in a range. Okay, so let's do that. Equals to count A. Okay, so this counts the number of cells in the range that are not empty. Now the difference between this and the count function is this function actually includes text. Okay, let's say for example now I want to find out if all the students were actually present. Okay, so now on parentheses, then I come to Sammy, then I select down to King. Okay, so how many of them attempted it? All of them attempted it. Now another thing you can actually see is count blank. Let's assume one of the students, some students actually skipped or missed one of the exams, some of the tests or some of the exams. Okay, and actually find out how many. So let's say for example now let's just delete the value here 17. Okay, then let's delete the value here. Okay, so we have some empty cells. So let's say we want to find out how many empty cells, how many students actually missed chemistry. Okay, so let's get that done now. So on equal to, and then count blank. Okay, count blank. Let's find out how many students not take the chemistry test or chemistry exams. So from that range of cells, okay, we see 2. So it's telling us that 2 students actually skipped. Students didn't take the chemistry test or the chemistry exams. Okay, now these are just a few functions that we can actually work with in Excel. Like we said earlier on, there are over 450 functions in Excel. So let me know in the comment section the function you would like to know about. Just indicate in the comment section, and then I'll make a video on it. Thank you very much. See you in the next class, and don't forget in all your endeavors to strive for excellence. Thank you very much. See you next time.